have something to tell, what should I do? Should I signalize?
People, I would like to say something. I have some comments about the topic. Well, the idea, Olga, I was explaining you. The idea that we all read the same material before the club. Okay, it could be a book, it could be an article, it could be just any information we are going to discuss, and then we prepare. Everyone prepares their questions if they have. I prepare the list of my questions because we have to start from something, right? We need some starting point where we're going to start, and then we're going to continue talking as much as we want. After that, if you would like, for example, if you have an answer to a question I'm going to ask, and say, okay, I have something to say, and we all are going to listen to you. Look, am I right? Is that the idea how it's going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if someone wants to tell something, he just can say, "Can I tell something?" and everyone will turn to him. That's it.
Interrupt. May I interrupt? Могу ли я всех перебить?
Yeah, that's it. That.
So let's start. Well, we have some talking points at the end of this article. After the little glossary with the different words from the article. So the main question to all of you right now. So do you agree that married women or men have fewer health than single people?
I would agree.
I think that married people have fewer health risks. Married people.
I think, yeah.
May I say?
Sure.
I think it depends on the people. So if a person like to live alone and it's comfortable for him, so I don't think that he has more risk when he's single. But the majority of people, the majority of people born to be in a social context. So I think mostly it's the truth, but with some exclusions.
Exceptions. What do you mean?
Yes.
So you mean some people are born to be single?
Yeah, and I know such people that happy to be single.
And it's their choice. That they are single by their choice. Because, for example, there is a beautiful girl and surrounded by an amazing man, not one man, many men. And they all say, "Oh, marry me, marry me, marry me." She said, "No, I'm single by my choice." Is that?
Yes, it's just one variant, but another variant it's a woman who has built some good career and she's surrounded with interesting people, different people, and but she's not married, but she's happy.
Mm-hmm.
Can I interrupt you?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
One organizing thing I'd like to ask you. If you are not talking, just switch off your microphone at the moment. Okay? You can do this by putting the button on the left of the red button in the screen of handouts. So I think that will improve the quality of the sound to everyone.
Oh, that's why there is an echo, right? When you speak, because we can hear the echo from every speakers.
Yes,
right?
yes, that's
it.
Yeah.
I don't know how the technology works. I understand. Okay, I'll try that.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to Olga right now. So Olga, you think that Well, my idea, when we talk about the idea of getting married or not getting married, is that genetically we're all programmed to be in a couple, right? We can use the word breed like animals, because the idea, the genetic idea of our, the meaning of our life is to give another life, especially for women and for men actually as well. So, but we have brains.
Mm-hmm.
That leads us somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, but genetic is very difficult to deceive, to lie to your body that your body, for example, wants to breathe. You want. There is a desire to be a mother. There is a desire to create. Well, sites, it's called in our register offices, but we sublimate our energy in making careers, in surrounding us with interesting people, in doing something. Because I was in this situation, I was very successful, and then I realized that I'm missing something, and I changed my life, and this change led to trend. So don't you think? It's not a question only to Olga, but maybe it's that it's some kind of a sublimation, direct their energy into a different direction, so they wouldn't concentrate on the questions of.
Well, first of all, I disagree with the idea that absolutely everybody is for the breed. You know.
Is what?
I think. I don't agree that absolutely everybody for a couple, for being in a couple, and not every woman has mother instinct, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There are some women that just don't have such an instinct. So, as I told before, the majority, I agree with the majority. The majority of people, created to be in a couple, but not everybody.
One little correction, as I said before, not told, as I said.
Mm-hmm. Yes, as I said before. But if we speak about that majority of people, so, but it's very, the organism of human being is very complicated. So it's difficult to say just that he has to be married, but he doesn't understand it, and so he sublimes some way. I think the problem is more complicated. Maybe some people sublimize, but don't you think that during this sublimizing they may be happy?
Of course they're happy. Of course, because that's why they do it. It shouldn't be necessarily like a sublimation of different processes, but people choose what they want to do because they like to do it, right? For
Yeah.
example, when you're free, when you have no commitments, you can go to, I don't know, any different workshops. You have so much free time. You can do whatever you want. You can, I don't know, go to a nightclub just at midnight because you want it. You don't have to feed children. You don't have to feed husband. You you don't have to be, I don't know, a mother, a wife, or whatever. But of course, these people are happy. But going back to the question, do you think married people have fewer health risks than unmarried?
Well, I don't think so. I think it depends on first their happiness. But happiness, as we just discussed, may not depend on marriage. So if and the second point, if people is married but he's unhappy in this marriage, he has more risks than a single person that's happily sublimizing.
Yeah.
So it's just depend on how people feel about their status.
Okay, I see. Well, you know, in this article there was a sentence where they say that unhappily married people, they suffer from abdominal fat. And after that, I went to my husband and I said, you know, now I know why I'm fat.
Yeah.
You, that's your fault that I'm fat, not mine, yours. I found the guilty one. So to me, this article was a very good explanation why I eat. Husband's fault, not me.
But on the other way, single people may be unhappy also. So he can eat much also, but he has nobody to blame about this.
Yes, and in this case, who is happier? We don't know. But if we go to just a practical situation, person is married and there is someone in the apartment when something bad happens, or there is an extra couple of eyes who can watch someone's health. Well, you don't see it from the side, but person who lives with you says, something is wrong with you, maybe you should go and check yourself. So in this case, we can actually say married people can have fewer health risks, because in this case there is a little support in the second half that can help you.
And in this case, I absolutely agree with you. So if we take two variants, married people, happily married people, who understand each other, who respect each other, understands each other, who respects each other, and a single person who may be also happy and comfort with such status.
Satisfied, you can say.
Satisfied, yes. So in this case, I think the first variant, so a couple may have fewer health risks because they care about each other, and they can recognize some symptoms of starting disease, or maybe just.
I like how you emphasize happily married couple, because right now there are so many couples that are unhappily married. Are we all married?
Can I have a word about this topic?
Sure.
I think as in these articles were telling about the survey that some American right? Researches made, or I don't remember. So I believe it that unhappily married people have less health than single people or than happily married people because of course all the emotions, bad emotions, some pain, soul pain that you can suffer while being trying to live together with a person that you, for example, don't love or can't love anymore, something like that. Of course, that will affect your health anyway. It's impossible not to be affected. For example, men, uh, for example, there are some surveys, I think, that confirm that men usually have more problems with heart attacks than women because they just don't cry as much as women cry, and all that reflects this problem, the connection between our emotional condition and our physical health. So that's why I believe the topic of this article, well, I agree with it. I agree with the idea.
But saying, well, the idea of men having more strokes or heart attacks because they don't cry, it's a little bit different story. It's because from the very beginning of their life, say to little boys, you're a man, you don't cry, you're a man, you don't cry. And we teach, well, teaches men to be the person who has to hide their feelings, that showing feelings is bad. Childhood men learn that showing feelings is bad. That's why, not because of they don't cry in the marriage.
But maybe, if they
if
cry,
I see my husband crying, seriously, I would say, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm unhappy.
of course, but you know that the most part of that things that make marriage unhappy we take from our childhood, you know. So
You know, right now when I'm married, I ask myself, are there any happy marriages? Well, no, I'm not saying that I'm unhappily married. No. I can say it's very difficult process. It's super difficult because
yeah,
you live with
yeah,
another
that's
person.
I'm talking about.
You have to change your life so significantly, and after the passion phase passes, right? After all the hormones go back to normal.
Yeah, that's right.
You understand that you have another person next to you, and sometimes it's not what you had at the beginning because you were over hormonal influence, and you learn how to live with this person. And in the beginning, I cried and I yelled at my parents, and I said, why all fairy tales about princess never tell us that marriage is the hard work, okay? Because in all fairy tales we read
that's
in childhood,
true,
they lived happily ever after. Okay, they had perfect life with their princess, and nobody said that princess shit or whatever.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Polina.
I have just a couple of words about it. I heard that marriage men live longer than single, and just the opposite about women.
Sorry, Oля, married men.
Married. Married women live less than single because married women spend a lot of time and energy for their partners, and then they are single. All their energy spent on their own, on themselves. But In case with men, men just more likely spend all their energy on themselves in all cases.
I knew it, the problem in the man. I knew it.
I've heard the article about it. So scientists,
there are so many different articles about who lives longer, married or single, who is happier, married or single. But single women live longer. Now maybe I think I need to divorce and live longer forever.
But of course, there are exceptions in every case.
Of course. But yeah, I think you're right that the women, they spend a lot of their energy for families, more than men. And I still don't understand why people say that women is a weak half of humankind.
Yeah, absolutely unfair.
So much work.
More vulnerable, and we, I mean women, we were raised to care about somebody, about anybody.
That's our nature.
Yeah, but
that's what I said in the beginning. That's like the genetics,
and men raised to be hunters, so their purpose to kill mammals, and that's mamas, and that's it. So to feed
I killed the mama.
To feed their family, and that's okay.
And that's enough. And then I can lie in front of the TV and drink beer or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a comic of a family man.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything to add?
I think
nothing from you.
Well, yeah, I'd like to add something that, in general, I think one should. The happiness is actually our choice. I think if one chooses to be happy, he can be happy. He can divorce to be happy, or he can marry someone to be happy. And but in fact, we are responsible for our condition ourselves. So if we're happy, it's well done. If we're not happy, bad work, something like that.
Bad work. Well, people say that happiness is inside of you, and if you're not happy, it's that, as you said, it's your problem, not somebody else's problem.
Yeah, you need to reveal it inside out.
But sometimes the circumstances are so that you are trying to be happy. You try so hard, and it's difficult. But some people say that divorce, a loss of a family member, equal. No, I didn't say it correctly. With the amount of stress person goes through, is equals to the amount of stress when the person loses a member family. It is a very stressful situation.
I think it's true in the most part of cases.
Well, let's hope that if divorce happens to anyone, it will be as smooth as possible, if it's possible to go smoothly through such difficult process. Well, anyway, let's try to be positive.
Yeah.
Let's try to think. We already discussed whether unhappy marriage lead to health problems. I think this question is covered. And why do we suppose that there is a connection between marital happiness and health? But you think that living with, but not being married, living with a partner can produce the same health benefits?
The same, how what?
Health benefits.
But the same, where the same health benefits? Like in
Well, we
single,
agree
like in being
that married
single?
people have fewer health risks than single people.
Yeah.
If we live with someone but not married to this person, can it produce the same health benefits as to married people?
I think yes. Why not? Well, it depends, of course, on how a person reacts to the question of stamps in the passport. For example, for me, it doesn't matter at all. So I can have the stamp or I cannot have it. For me, what matters are the relations, how the person treats me. Relationship, yeah, how the person treats me, how he turns to me, how he talks to me, all that stuff, that matters. The stamp not. But that's for me. I know the people for whom the stamp was even more important than the relationship. So
Really?
no, maybe not the most, but the same. Very, very important. Very important. My father is that kind of person.
So for him it's important to have a stamp, so that you have a stamp in the passport.
Yeah. It was important for him. My father was very, very strict in that way.
He's very conservative, I would say. Very
And
conservative.
Yeah, very conservative.
Because there is a funny, it's like a funny expression that civil marriage, civil marriage is real marriage for, and absolutely, and so, but both sides are happy, okay? Because the woman thinks she's married and the man thinks that he's not. So, Ola and the half Ola, anything to add?
I agree with Loka, and I think that our health not depending on how we live with somebody or alone. It just depends on our thoughts, how we see this world, and if we do things which we like, or we just spending our time, something like this. Yes. So I think that everyone can be healthy and happy without I don't know how to say. Just it doesn't depend on people with whom we live, and it all depends on us. And we also can
right? That's the happiness is inside of us, and we are responsible for being happy or not happy.
Yeah, and of course about women also the same. A woman can be happy living alone, and for example having work which she likes, and she can be unhappy living with a man, for example, and
also having work which she doesn't like. It's just, I don't know, just depends on every woman and every man.
You know, it's very funny. Right now I think about one of my friends. She was married. Her husband was a good man. But after some years, doesn't love this man anymore, and she decided to divorce. And she said, no, I don't like him, I don't love him, yes, he's the father of my son, but I can't live with him anymore. And she divorced. Then she started to be independent, very happy. She was single, she was eating her freedom with a full spoon, you know, like enjoying every day of it. Month, 2 months, 3 months. And then she called me and said, I need a man. I was like, well, you were just so happy without him. Why do you need a man now? She's like, well, just so. But I don't want to be married. On the man. And now she wants to marry him. Man, I'm not sure he wants to marry, but it's not the issue. To me, it looks like a circle. We grow up. We want to be married. Then we try marriage. We think, no, that's disgusting. We don't want there anymore. So then we go out of the marriage, we divorce, or we separate if it's just a partner we lived with. Then I'm not talking, as Ola said, about those people who decided to be single by their choice, because they are so so confident in themselves. They don't need anybody to share their lives with anyone. But it looks like a circle. So we do the same thing. We marry, we divorce, we marry, we divorce, we marry, we divorce. And every time there is something that we don't like.
Maybe that person, that woman just didn't find her perfect partner.
Mr. Right. Mr. Right.
Everyone.
Do you believe in half, Ola? Really?
I believe in a person who, who is for us perfectly.
Who is a perfect match?
Yeah.
Who is the perfect match?
Who's the perfect match? Maybe it's not half, but I believe they exist.
And you still hope that there is a perfect match. There is a Mr. Right for every girl.
Well,
almost.
Not exactly, but I think in this case that you described, maybe just that were not her partner. That were just
sure.
Just passion at first, and very impulse decision about marriage. Don't you think about it?
About impulse decision?
Yeah.
What do you mean by impulse decision?
That based on their passion, their first passion, but without real love, real understanding each other, real.
That's very. It's
Olga,
very dangerous question.
Olga,
what is true love? What is true love, Olga?
Maybe Olga wants to say that this person tends to listen to her, to the voice of her heart, not to the voice of her mind.
Well, let's call it heart.
Yeah, I think it looks like that.
But I meant that it might be just the sexual attraction, not much to share, not much united interests,
Common interest.
not understanding each other, not respect each other.
So you mean it's not that serious?
Maybe.
Well, every situation is unique anyway. Difficult to judge from the side, of course. So, Olga, go ahead. Something, and I interrupted you.
No, I just told my my idea.
Okay. So, one more question that was in the list. What are the advantages and disadvantages of remaining single? Let's then talk about this. So, and we already partly covered these questions, but more thoroughly. So, what do you think? What are advantages and disadvantages of being single?
Okay, may I say?
Sure.
So about the advantages. Such a person can't do compromising things. He can behave just like he wants.
You always say he, but in modern world we always say he or she, because he is not necessarily a man, right? He or she.
He or she doesn't have to care about somebody, so all his energy and money and time he or she can spend on himself, herself. Advantages, yes. And disadvantages, there are a lot of. So there is nobody to share his or her thoughts,
but what about friends?
idea.
Well, when we say single, we don't mean that this person is lonely, right? That this person is just not married.
Friends, it's just not the same as a spouse, because partner is much closer to us than even the closest friend. That's my thought. Okay, you may disagree with me with this point, but just little. When you travel to wherever, you have to pay more for a single room than for a double room.
That's a good disadvantage, by the way.
just came to my mind. A lot of stupid things come to my mind every time.
I can tell you, if you have a big family, you have to pay tickets for the plane tickets for all your family. So right now, if I want to travel somewhere, I have to pay 4 tickets instead of 1. So in this case, I can pay for single room in a hotel, and it will be, less.
But this is just about a point about children. I meant a couple without children.
Okay.
Just 2 of them. With children, it's just not the same. It's absolutely different.
It's never the same after the children, that's for sure. I'm sure all mummies will
Yeah.
agree with me.
I'm not a mom, but I agree with you and with me. Because I have a sister with 2 children, and I see the full picture of their life.
Okay. Lyoka, Oля, about advantages and disadvantages of being single.
I think, Lyoka, you're the first for me.
Let me talk, please. So, I think that if you are single and if you live alone, I mean, not sharing your apartment with somebody, parents or friends or something like that, the most important advantage of that situation is that you get used to rely on yourself and to be responsible for everything that you've got in your life. And when we live with somebody, with other spouse or parents or friends, then we tend to rely on that person, and sometimes we stop to be responsible for our life ourselves. Then we blame others for our problems, for example, and that's I think the worst disadvantage of married life or not single life.
Don't you think that relying on yourself sometimes could be a disadvantage as well, especially when you start to live with someone, because you enter a new life so independent, and you don't let your possible potential partner to take care of you.
I don't think that's true. I think my potential partner can always find a way to express his love and his kindness and his I don't know what towards me, his feelings.
I understand.
Yeah.
Оля, another Оля, которая the hub Оля.
Lyoka again read my mind.
That's why I wanted to be the first.
People very well.
I also can add that again about health, that single men, they spend more time for parties, something like drinking, smoking, etc. And when they are married, their wives take care of them, eating healthy food, for example. So also, for example, if they have kids, they can't smoke inside a house, for example, something like this. So their life change. It's becoming more healthy. It's for men, for example. I think it's very.
That's important moment, I think.
Yeah, and about women, I think we all know this, that very often single women look better than
Of course they do. They have so much time.
than married women with a lot of kids, a lot of things to do in the house, take care of kids, and then husband, then again flat, kids, husband, something like this. And so they forget to take care about themselves, yes?
You know, there is a joke. If you see a woman at the street who doesn't wear any makeup, who has very sad eyes, most likely this woman is married.
But I think it's
a joke.
Yes, it's just a joke, because what about me? I think I started to be even. Yes, I think I look better now than 10 years ago, when I didn't have a family, kids, and maybe I had a lot of parties or something like this, and I became wiser. I think it's just, again, it depends on all of us, yes, and how we feel our life. For example, I'm very happy that I have 2 kids, and they are just like my teachers. They taught me lots of things about life, about real life.
Okay. So, girls, to sum up, we say that it doesn't matter whether the person is married or unmarried. To be healthy and sick in both cases, right? So we don't agree that married people are healthier, etc., etc. Because single people sometimes can live longer, okay, can different activities that make them happy. So let's think about next topic, Doc, right?
Yeah, right. And not only topic, but maybe we'll discuss what the format of our club meetings. Maybe we can, for example, Oля from the hub offered someday to make a role play, like if, for example, we're in an airplane and someone is a captain and someone is a passenger. Hysterical, something
I won't
like
be able
that.
to be a captain because what can I say? Hello, people, I'm captain. Hold on there.
Maybe, I don't know, also, something like that. Or we can also, like we did today, discuss an article. It was interesting. It seemed to me, at least.
But as for the articles, I would be. It's interesting for me to hear what are the topics, what are the areas of our participants today. For example, what it could be: literature, history, new technology, kids in kindergartens. I don't know, schools, education. Well, kids in kindergartens, it's a painful question. Don't start.
No. I think we can talk about travelings, for example. We can
Travel.
prepare,
Yeah.
for example, a story from one of the travels, because nowadays I think everyone who speaks English travel. so he has
Who
some.
don't speak English travel. So even those who don't speak.
Yes, so one can remember a funny story or interesting story and share it with all, and other can ask him questions and something like that. So we can imagine.
Well,
this
so you
topic.
suggest the topic will be travel. I can search for some materials about traveling and to see if they would be relevant and whether they have to be read for the club.
I can.
What about Olga and Ola? Do you agree with the travel topic for the next?
Yes, I agree. And what about role play?
Not for the next time, maybe.
Because for example, we can connect the topic and the role play. just
Oля, can you tell me more, explain more, how do you see the role play? Because I don't really understand how can we perform it.
for example, if we're talking about traveling, so we can imagine that, for example, I don't know, somebody from another country. For example, I'm from Africa and you are from another country, and you come to my country and you ask me something, I show you something like this. So it's just we can talk about this topic, and also it's something like a role play.
I think we can.
Well, we can try.
We can at first imagine some situation and some like a list of what every character should do. You know.
Well, the thing is that role play, Oli, I will explain you why I have so many questions about role play. Here, the level of participants is intermediate plus, and well, that's what Loka wanted to when we were talking about this club. And role play is about, usually it's some kind of thing that different skills, like I don't know, talking about traveling, right? And they practice different types of questions in a foreign country. That's what you would like to practice. I'm just trying to understand you better.
Yes, something like this.
Right. Well, you know, we can do, as Loka said, for example, every participant will tell a story about their traveling, and at the end we can dedicate some time to just a little role play and to see how it goes. If it works well, then we can implement it more.
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good idea.
So, as I understand, every of us tell some their own story, yeah, about
Sure.
travel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be
About traveling.
about traveling. Yeah.
Interesting story for you.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe Olga or Polina, maybe you have any other ideas about the format of our meetings, what we can do, not next time, but in future in general.
Well, so far it's my first experience to have such speaking activity, and I was actually very curious how we are going to communicate with each other. The microphone is a good idea, so we wouldn't have this echo, but in the same time it doesn't give us the possibility to be fluent in conversation. But so far I see that it works more or less. Participants to be maybe more active, and if you have something to add, please.
Yeah, but maybe I was talking about the formats, what to do.
But about the format, do you think you mean leave it here in Hangouts or move it to Skype, or what?
No,
what do you
I
by
mean,
format?
what do we do? What do we discuss the articles, or we just making some debates? I don't know.
Well, debates will be anyway, right? It's always like that. When you give a topic, people discuss different ideas with each other. Well, I suggest. My idea is to give some information in advance, like it could be a book or an article, and then it's our starting point for the conversation for now. But at the end of every lesson, we can discuss about possible topic, possible area of interest that we, and for example, you say travel, I say, okay, and I start to search for different information about traveling, send you this information,
Yeah, okay.
and then we discuss this during
Okay, great.
during the
I think great. Everyone is okay with travel for the next time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, and what about the date the next time?
Great. The date. I would like to choose like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the same 10, 11, 12 in the morning.
Wednesday would be better for me.
Yes. Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes, for me.
Or Wednesday. Среда, да?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's okay. If it's at 11.
Yes.
Maybe
For
at
me-
maybe at 12.
I can't on Wednesday.
Sorry, you can't?
Yes.
At 11, are you available?
Friday is
Olga Dahab cannot make it on Wednesday. That's what I heard. She isn't available on Wednesday. I'm available on Thursday, but in very tight schedule because I have a lesson at 10 and I have a lesson not to be late. So in this case, I would try to avoid Thursday because it's very
What about Friday?
Friday. Okay, I can do it on Friday.
Okay, let's keep it on Friday for the next time.
On Friday,
Yes.
the Olga.
Yeah, Friday is okay.
Okay, then let's arrange it for Friday, 11.
But maybe some more close date.
Friday 17th, March 17th.
I mean, before Friday, maybe one more day.
Want a conversation club for 2 days.
Yeah, not? And
But for now, we're planning to have meetings once a week.
yeah. Okay.
That's why I was surprised. Yeah.
In this case, Friday is perfect.
Okay. So far, March 17th, 11 o'clock. Topic
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah, let's keep in touch. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It was nice to
you.
talk to you.
Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.